You been seeing the boys much?
Nah, never, hardly ever do. So,
Just special occasions these days.
yeah, right. But yeah, like after seeing everyone, I love it. But no one is. It's yeah, you get busy and no one
Yeah,
knows.
everybody's got kids these days and everything
Yeah.
like that sort of happens. Is that they're all still Joey's boys that you sort of
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's one of the things I love, that we're mates. Like some of us have been sent to primary school as well. So yeah,
Where'd you go to primary school?
same as you.
As Mark or as me?
Mark, you went there, didn't you?
No, I went to Chuel. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You're 10 years.
Yeah, so Mark's just under 10 years older than I am. And Xavier?
Yeah, St. Francis.
St. Francis. St. Francis.
So you would have gone there afterwards. But yeah, you moved to Newtown.
Yeah, Mum and Dad moved not too far from here. And then I went to Chuel, literally when we moved. I think Christopher did grade 5 and grade 6 at Chuel as well.
All right.
And then he went to Joey's.
Yep.
So then, yeah. It was almost like I didn't grow up in that area at all, really.
Yeah, you missed out. Tommy Crescent was great.
Did you live in Tarwee Crescent?
No, I was around the corner.
Oh, right.
But yeah, it was good times.
I don't even really have a memory of that house
Yeah.
at all. I think I was like 4 when we moved.
Yeah, I remember you being there.
A little bastard is what I would have been. Well, welcome, Joel. Appreciate you coming on. I know that you're very busy. You have quite a big business in Geelong as a landscaper. You've got your own podcast, and you've done a lot throughout your journey as well. So there's so much that I want to pick your brain on about your journey and living in Geelong, especially as another Joey's boy as well. You're good friends with my oldest brother, Mark, as we were just talking about. So, yeah, there is a lot that we can cover today.
Yeah, not quite a big business, but I make it look like it is.
Is it just you working in the business, or have you got people with you?
I've got 2 qualified guys at
Yeah.
the moment, and one of them is looking for something else because it's a bit hard.
Too hard on the body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's a lot taller as well. And
Right, how tall's he?
6'4", I think.
Yeah, okay.
He might be 6'3.5", but he says he's 6'4".
Oh, we went through this last time, didn't we?
Whereas I'm exactly 5'9" 3/4". So
Yeah.
I'm more built to be a landscaper.
Yeah.
Whereas he's bending down all the time. So it's bad enough on your back. So
I remember I did come and did a day with you when I reckon I was about 18 and a very soft individual. It was the one and only day that you had me.
I've had a few like that. Actually, Daz helped me out. He's helped out twice, and I think the second time we were doing a concrete pour around a pool.
Yeah.
So and it was a 5-glass pool, so it's already full of water. And it was middle of winter. He's pushing the barrow around, and he ended up in the pool. I think the first one, the barrow of concrete went in the pool.
Yeah.
Then he got out, and we were still going. And then he was going to do it again, so he could feel it going in. So he jumped in and pushed the barrow away. So he ended up in the pool.
Did it end up coming in on him as well?
No. He saved it
Oh,
perfectly.
Go on.
I had to get in a wetsuit and get a shovel and start shoveling the concrete out.
That was going to be my question. How do you get the concrete out?
I've got a photo of it, I reckon, somewhere, because it was a long time ago.
You've got a photo of him in the pool?
No, I got me in the pool in the wetsuit, just looking down, trying to see the cloudy water. The client never found out and never said anything, so I got enough out. Yeah, I've had a few people help me out over the years, and
Yeah.
it's never. It's like when clients ask if they can help. I couldn't think of anything worse. It's like, I appreciate you want to get involved, but yeah, sometimes it's not that as easy as it looks.
Yeah. As is it most of the time that the client's trying to help to cut the costs of the bill or the...
Yeah, sometimes it is, but also, like, I understand that they want to get involved, and I love that they want to get involved because they have a bit more ownership and they care about it rather than just treating it like a transaction. But yeah, it's not something I'll enjoy when they do, because like there's some workers I don't even like getting involved, and they know what they're doing partially. So I'd rather just get it done and get to the next job, get the money.
Fair. One for you off the bat. If you could redesign any celebrity's garden, who would it be, number one? And second part of the question, what's one crazy feature that you would add to their garden?
Well, I'd have to have a look at their garden to redesign it, because I don't really pay attention to what most people's gardens are unless it's something that's common knowledge. But so I'd probably just think of someone who I want to meet and just choose there.
Who would that be?
Probably Adam Sandler might be up there.
Yeah.
He'd be a lot of fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
I assume he's got a basketball court. at his place. But yeah, it's impossible to say what I'd change.
Would you put a fountain in the middle of his backyard with the swan and the water coming out of the
Yeah,
swan's
that'd be a nice reference. I'm sure he'd appreciate that as well. You might already have it. Got it left over from the movie. But I was leaning towards a water feature because I know Shaq he's had one. A few people I've spoken to went over and did his water feature at his place.
Yeah, right.
So it's like a natural pond. And I think he did one at his auntie's place as well. So yeah, I've got one of them in my front yard, like a natural creek called a pondless waterfall. So there's not a body of water sitting at the bottom, but it just keeps recirculating. And the water is actually in a reservoir under the surface.
Is that underneath, say, pebbles or something like that?
Yeah.
So the water just sort of falls down.
Yeah,
Falls in there, and
yeah.
then
You
comes
don't
back
see
up.
where it goes to.
Yeah,
So
right.
you don't get any mosquitoes or anything in there, and no algae growing on it. So yeah, they look pretty cool. And something I'd like to do more of. But
I've seen that you did one of those recently. There was three square sort of concrete pours, and it come out and.
Yeah. So that's a more sort of formal one. So that was a house in Newtown in Fraser Street. So that's kind of suits that area.
Yeah.
Whereas we've done one in Ocean Grove, and I'll come in Mount Dunedin with the creek across the road. So it kind of makes more sense being more natural.
Yeah. Okay.
So you got to choose the right space for the right place.
How much influence about the surroundings of a property do you take into account when you start to design it?
Yeah, it's a combination of that and also what people want. It's something when I was first starting out doing designs, I didn't think about it at all. I would just think, this is an awesome idea. I'm going to do it. I'm going to design it into every job until someone builds it. Mm-hmm. I didn't care where it went. I just want to build it. So I'm going to design it and then market the shit out of it. But then as you start to realise that things look good when they're blended into their surrounds. So,
Yeah, right.
Doing a formal water feature out in Wellington might not be the best if it's on open paddocks in the background.
Yeah, fair.
That's where your natural might look, or like fork out the Ugangs, Lara kind of area, because that's kind of the granite rocks there anyway. So it makes that. It's one of those things. Anyone can design a garden, but when you see one that's been designed by someone who knows what they're doing, you might not be able to pick why it feels different, but it just feels different.
Yeah.
Like I can't pick why, but you can just tell when it's been done well.
Yeah.
So that's just something you get with experience. So some people have it earlier, but I'm not natural. There's some natural designers and there's some people who work towards it, and I'm somebody who sort of works towards it.
Okay. So it's like almost like a practice skill over time.
Yeah.
That you pick
Yeah.
up.
So seeing what works and what doesn't, and understanding why they work or don't.
Yep. Nice. What got you into the industry in the first place?
I initially started working at Smorgies and the Sphinx. So
Smorgies?
Yeah.
That's going back.
Yeah. Well, you might have been too young for that now.
No, not quite. Not quite.
I remember Smorgies.
Yeah.
And Salty the Seal there. That was good times there. I think that was my first job.
What did you do there? Just taking money as people walked in? And...
Fair bit, actually. I did a bit of everything. I was working in the bar mainly, but also worked in food prep as well.
Right.
I remember working there New Year's Eve one day in the bar, and I was blind. I was just... it must have been too bad because I remember it, but yeah, that was a good day. There was like some strawberry vodka drinks that they had.
Yeah, right.
That was good times. But then...
Back when the RSA wasn't so strict.
I had one, yeah. All's well that ends well. But then I went over to New Zealand. I was going to play cricket over there, and then I got homesick, so I just went on a Kentucky tour and came home.
Yep.
Never played a game. And then, annoyingly, I took my cricket spikes over there, and I did training, like pre-season training, but that was indoors, so then I didn't use my cricket spikes, and then came back, and I got a fine when I came back to Australia because of the dirt on the spikes. Even though it was Australian dirt that I'd taken over there and brought back. So that was a couple $100 disappointing.
I've been skiing a couple of times overseas and I feel like the declaration form, like they're feet in the snow. Like I don't feel like I should have to really declare this, but obviously it's a pretty big thing.
So then I realised when I came back from New Zealand, I didn't want to work in hospitality again.
Yeah.
Can't stand working with drunk people. So a bloke I knew worked at a golf course, so I just thought, I'll go and do that. Sounds like he's on good money. It wasn't great because you had to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and was out in Port Arlington as well, so you could drive for 40 minutes out there.
Where were you at the time?
I was in Heron Hill.
It's a fair drive.
Yeah.
At 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's not great.
So,
But I love.
what time are you up? Are you even getting dressed that early?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Sleeping in your
But
work stuff?
I'm pretty good getting up early and getting ready quick.
Right.
So like, I know some people don't have a shower in the morning, but I could never do that. So I'd have to have a shower but 5 minutes is enough. And then I enjoyed working there, but not getting up early and driving. But so that made me knew I wanted to work outside. And I don't know how, I think it could have even been Backyard Blitz made me know about landscaping. And I just liked, and there were so many different things that they did in it. And that's what I still love to this day, just the variety of everything you do.
Jamie Giroux.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you met him?
Yeah. He's the first person I asked to come on my podcast.
There you go.
Never got back to me. And then 2 years ago at the garden show, he came up because I did one of the big garden shows there, and he came up to introduce himself. And I thought I could just not say anything and play it cool. But I thought, no, I'm going to make him feel awkward. So he introduced himself. I said, I asked you to come on my podcast, but you never got back to me. So it's a bit awkward, but yeah. Not everyone you see on TV has the best reputation within the industry.
Yeah, okay.
So some people are really friendly. He was friendly to your face, but some people just want to get paid for everything that they do. So
Yeah.
which I understand.
Would you hit him up again to come on the podcast?
Only as a piss take.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he wouldn't. I wouldn't pay. He didn't ask for money, but
Yeah.
that's why he wouldn't reply. I think.
Yeah, okay. When more of those go through the management group and
and then they would say no to you.
Yeah.
So,
so coming out from the garden show.
Backyard Blitz made me realise I want to do that. So then I applied. I went to the Yellow Pages. You also may not remember what that is.
I do. I am not actually that young. That is a little bit younger than I am.
I knew what the Yellow.
I've got smallies covered in the Yellow Pages.
I contacted every landscaper in Geelong, just sent them an email, not if they were looking, but just sent them a letter, not an email.
Cover letter.
A letter, a resume saying, I want to get an apprenticeship. So I think I was maybe 21, which felt old to be getting an apprenticeship at the time. It's not these days, but nobody gave me one. So then I decided to go and study horticulture. So then when a job became available, I got my foot in front of someone else who goes for it. And then it was a 2-year course. I was a year into it, and then a job became available. So I went and did that. So I only got 1 year into the course.
Yeah.
Actually, I worked at a nursery as well while I was there.
Which nursery?
Plants Plus. It's where there's like a gym there now on Coal Lake Road. Sort of.
Where the gym is?
Yeah. It's changed its name heaps of times.
The gym
like
is
they all
changed,
do.
Yeah.
So it was there.
Another one.
So I went...
Near the bowling lanes.
Yeah. So I went in there and handed in a resume saying, let me know if you got any jobs. They said, yeah, we haven't got anything, but we'll keep your resume. And then that was when I was going out, like every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. And they rang me up on Sunday morning, and I would probably go home at 4 a.m. or something. And they said, we've had someone call in sick. You got to come in and start working today. I said, yeah, no worries. So what time can you get here? I'll be there like 10 o'clock. Yeah, that'd be great. So they would have rang me, I think, 9. I'll go home at 4. I was still probably drunk. I called a taxi in because I knew I couldn't have driven. Yeah. And worked that day. So then the good thing was they had low expectations on me because I was hungover on my first day. And so I worked there for a year as well before and then when I got my landscaping apprenticeship, then stopped studying, stopped working at the nursery and took it on from there. And then eventually there was a period where I stopped landscaping, went to the bank, and then got back into landscaping.
I do remember that actually. Yeah. You work at the CBA around the corner from where I did at Croydon.
I worked a few, yeah.
Yeah. Why the change at that point? Just sick of it?
No, so it was 2011, I think. I started in 2011 at the bank in November. And my daughter was born in January that year. So I had we had a job that was get booked in. Like it was my biggest one. It was over 100 grand. Mm-hmm. It was around here actually, sort of more towards Hyden, but there was a lot of retaining walls, and we were going to be doing it in the middle of winter. And then, so it was in June or July, and then the client decided to change his mind. He said he's going to go with someone else, and that was before. Like I'd been in business for 2 years at the time, so I wasn't doing things as well as I could have, and I didn't get a deposit off him to book it in. So then I was just scrambling trying to find work, and I got work, but that experience made me worry about sort of the
volatile nature of
being able to get work to support my new daughter, wife and daughter. So I thought I was going to go and work for someone else and do something safe. And I've always had a weird enjoyment of numbers, so I thought the bank would be good. One of my mates worked there, so I messaged him and see if anything is available.
Yep.
And he said, I can get you an interview, and then the rest is up to you. So
Yep.
got the interview and started working in Torquay.
How quickly did you realise that it's not just working with numbers, it's working with people that have got no idea what they're doing?
Well, I still love working at the bank, so I didn't leave it because I didn't like it.
Okay.
I still liked working there.
Yeah.
Because they were going to start me as a teller, but I think I did that for a day. Then they put me up to being like a personal banker, doing like loans and credit cards and that sort of stuff. And then I ended up going up into business banking, and that's where I was when I was for business banking. And I was supposed to be going to a conference in Sydney, but I quit before I went to that. But and then I applied for a manager's role, which would have been a nightmare if I got it, but did one home loan as well. So yeah, like I still enjoyed the numbers of it, and also their sales targets I loved because I liked the competitiveness of it. Whereas some people run away from that kind of thing. But it depends on your mindset.
Yeah, it's a very pressure set working for. I worked at the bank for 5 years or so. Started a very similar process to you. I started as a personal banker and then sort of excelled at it. I was very young at the time and the competitive nature of it was something that I really thrived in, but it was somewhat a lot of pressure to constantly hit them. As soon as that you'd pass one target, the next quarter started, it was expected all over again. You had to be on all the time to be able to do it.
Yeah.
The expectations of you were just a lot. And I think that whilst I excelled, it was a lot of pressure on me as a 21-year-old. So
Yeah, as you start to get up to the higher ends, you start to see the sort of politics and the things that you have to do. And it's just not really my scene. So I thought I'd get back into landscaping and have an actual vision. Whereas previously I would just take on any job that comes and do whatever and that was it.
Yep.
If someone wants landscaping, I'll do it. Whereas the second time around, I wanted to target the high end jobs. So I did that.
How did you go at the start of trying to get those higher end jobs? Because I imagine it would be pretty hard to establish a name of like, hey, I'm purely doing this. And if you don't have that sort of that backlog of work, that can be harder to find.
It was it's good that I knew once we got those jobs, just had to nail it. Like I knew we could do it, but you just need to get them to start with, and then you can start rolling that ball and gathering the reputation from there. So that's when I decided to go and do the garden show, design and build our own garden show build in there. That was it that first year or the year after. So I went back in March of 2015, and then 2016 and 17 we did our own show gardens, and that I was thinking you'd get work directly from the public from doing that, but it was more establishing our name within the industry.
Right.
So then other people, like any Melbourne landscape designer, when they're thinking of someone in Geelong, they're only going to know that I exist because that no one else does anything ordinary. So, and that's what happened. So we still do jobs for people who started working with us back then. So they'd design it and then get us to build it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
not the path that you thought it would have taken.
No,
but
but it worked. And then once you do those types of high end jobs, then you can start advertising that on Instagram, and it all just rolls on from there. And then you build up a reputation, but you're actually no different to someone who's doing the other project like what we were doing. But we just get to do those jobs, so it doesn't mean they're any better than anyone.
Yeah.
So people just pay more for the final invoice kind of thing.
Yeah. Do you find it's a lot better to have those bigger jobs? You're in the one spot for a lot longer, less moving around, or
there's pros and cons of both, because you're not doing as much quotes and having to meet with the client as much as you would if you're doing multiple jobs instead of one. But a lot more can go wrong on the big jobs, which I've found, and also working for new designers, because it's not like their plans aren't like a 50-page blueprint. It's sometimes just a 1-page concept design.
Okay.
And you've got to work out what everything is included in that.
Right.
So you can underquote a fair bit, which I've done plenty of times until you understand what they are usually like. So some people go over the top with detail, some don't do enough.
Yep.
And so it can be a bit hard doing that. But if you make, less can go wrong with small jobs, so you're making a lot higher percentage profit. You can make good money, but I just enjoy the bigger jobs more. You can make good money on the smaller ones.
Yeah.
But
It's a constant pressure cooker environment, as I sort of said before. There's a lot of people that have gotten their landscaping done around here, and they're in and out, and it's a team of 15 people that are like, it's a 2-day thing, but everything's done and they're moving on, and it's like clockwork.
Yeah, like we would do a lot of their houses, not a lot, but we'd work in Armstrong Creek doing like rentals and first homes.
Yeah.
And it'd just be like a border planned around the outside, a square of grass, steppers in gravel down the side of the house, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can do them in a couple of days, but you don't get much enjoyment out of it.
Yeah,
And I like enjoying my job, and I feel bad for people who don't.
Yeah.
So I understand you need to make money as well, and need accommodation, but yeah, if I wanted to just make money, I'd go and work in IT or something. Do something you hate, but make shitloads of money.
Fair. What's
Or
been
be
your
a
favourite job so
Be a
far?
broker as well.
You would probably like being a broker, to be fair.
I don't like people that much, so
You liked working at the bank. If you can work at the bank, you can be a broker pretty easily.
the home loan is very intense. Like putting it through. I suppose it's like anything though, until you learn.
The
it.
more that you do
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
yeah.
In fact, I did one. It's probably not enough to know.
Yeah.
Favorite job in terms of landscaping that we built? It'd be my show garden that I designed, like the big one 2 years ago.
Okay.
Because that had been a dream. So when I say that we did show gardens to sort of build our name, they were a boutique garden, which is a 5x5 metre garden.
Right.
So this is at the Melbourne International Flower and Garden Show.
Okay. Which was on a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. So they're they're not the big show gardens, they're next level down. But always had a dream to design and build one of the big ones that I've always gone and seen.
Yeah.
So I did that in 2023. So that, and like when I do my podcast, that's the background I've got. That's just, yeah. And I've got a lot of the stuff we used in it, like plants. I took them to my place.
Okay.
So in terms of actual gardens, that's my favourite by a long way. And in terms of ones that act like a real one for a client, we've done it. It sort of changes every year because we're just working on, cooler projects all the time. Like it blows me away what people spend on them. But I remember in 2015 when I got back into it, we got a childcare centre which was 85 grand. I thought, this is pretty expensive. It's not bad, it's only 100 grand. And then we've done one since then that was 330. Did a residential one which was just under 500.
Newtown on top of the hill, that one?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that'd be my favourite at the moment, but once it grows.
Okay.
So that's the annoying thing about landscape is you can finish a job and think, it looks okay, but it's going to look better
When it's done.
4 years.
Yeah.
And plans fill out and grow.
Do you ever ask to go back and have a look at an old job, or is it
Yeah,
more
yeah,
or
like-
less that you driving past and you like get to appreciate it? From
Every now and then there'll be like an irrigation leak or something. It's like, yes, get to go back.
when the handiwork actually pays off.
Yeah, well, yeah. And the good thing is it's never anything major. It's like it just might be one of the lines popped off because the clamp wasn't on, but you actually get to go back and see how the plants are growing. And,
Yeah.
but yeah, most people like when it ends, because you can build up a good relationship with them over months of dealing with them, or years really. By the time you're waiting for them, they're waiting for you to start their project. So yeah, someone ask or tell you that they're happy for you to bring someone in if they want to have a look.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, quite proud of their own project as
Yeah,
well. And
yeah, we're some awesome people and awesome designers as well.
that one up there, obviously we're not going to go through whose house is it or anything like that, but on top of Pakenham Street Hill, massive property.
That's not even the one I was talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
Yeah,
Right.
And there's another one near Newtown Footy Ground
Yeah, right.
on top of, yeah.
The one on top of Pakenham Street Hill,
Yeah.
it's a very, very big property. How
I
many
think it's
people
6,000 square meters maybe or something.
did you ever have any troubles on that because there were so many people on the job at the one time?
Nah, because like I say, it's a massive place.
Yeah.
And that builder we work with a lot. So, and all the trades are all the same. So everyone looks after each other.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you hear some people say they don't want to work with particular builders, but that's because not everyone works well together.
Right.
Whereas when you get a good team, it's just awesome because we might do a little bit extra here to help out the plumber, and he'll do something for us.
Yeah, okay.
Over there. So
Or not walk on your concrete, your wet concrete, something like that.
I've done that myself actually back in the early day. Poured it, and then later that day I walked on it, knowing that I'd just poured it. So
At least that you're not falling into the pool, mate. With
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been on TV a few times over the years. How did that come about, and what impact did that have on your business as far as the bigger projects that you were chasing?
That was also part of the plan to build the profile.
Yeah.
So
Specifically, you were on the block.
yeah, so I've been on that for 2 years. Also got invited back this year, but so I might be on this year. but it's only for the first episode, and then I said no, so
Yeah,
I won't
okay.
be on.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I always used to watch the block, and I was fascinated by it.
Yeah.
So I would like to see like the back end of it to see what it was like. And then a designer I knew, actually it was just a pool builder, told me that a designer was looking for a landscaper, and it was on the Wednesday, and you had to start on the Tuesday. So it was around this time of year, because the Tuesday was the Monday was Easter Monday. So that's why the person who was supposed to do it couldn't do it, because he was going away on holidays for that week, and they just announced that that's when the landscaping week is.
Right.
So he said, I'm not cancelling my holiday, so find someone else.
Okay.
So they got us, and we went in there, and it's actually, they make it look easier than what it is. It's actually harder doing it than what they show on camera, which I thought would be the opposite. I think that sort of kind of happened.
Talk us through what you mean by that.
Well, with the first week we were on there,
Because you were on, the first one was with Luke and...
no, Jesse and Mal
Okay.
in Brighton.
Yeah.
It was. I think, no, in St Kilda, sorry.
Yeah. And then you were in the Brighton one.
Yeah, the
as
year
well.
after, yeah. So we had a courtyard that we did, so that was the very first one we did. And we couldn't start, there was scaffolding in there until like the Thursday. So we literally couldn't do anything until the Friday at, I think, 1 p.m. or not, I think it was 1 p.m. Yeah, so we could start Friday, 1 p.m. Like, I'd pre-built a lot of stuff at my shed, but we couldn't actually get in there until 1 p.m. on the Friday. It has to be finished on the Sunday. So we had basically 2 days or a day and a half to do it. And that week as well. So
Yeah,
it
wow.
was a good start.
Yeah.
And it also was fascinating understanding how hard you can push yourself working. Like, we worked like really late nights. And that's, yeah.
You got the floodlights on and you're just inside. And
Yeah. And it's in winter as well, so it was fresh, but yeah, it's just an awesome experience. And again, it's something I like. I didn't do it to make money. I did it for the experience and to build the profile. So there's some people who go on there treating it like a normal job, and they're the ones who have the bad experience, because it's not a normal job. It's a TV show. So if you want to do a normal job, stay home and do your normal jobs. Whereas if you want to be part of the experience and do something different with your life, then you can be a part of it. And, but the more money that the contestants had, the better chance we had of winning. So
that makes sense.
So I didn't charge them much at all, because I want to win, because I'm competitive in that as well. So yeah, so that worked out well. And then the year after, we worked for one of my favourite designers, so that was pretty cool. He regretted doing it because he's got a massive name, and I don't understand why he did it, but he didn't need to boost his profile. But again, it was just something he thought he would do.
How does it boost your profile from being on the TV show? Because...
Well, it actually doesn't really, but that's why you think you go on there for that. But yeah, like if I'll talk to landscapers about who was on last year, for example, and they wouldn't be able to name any of the landscaping companies, maybe one, and they're landscapers and they don't know who they are. So people who don't know landscapers aren't going to know who the actual landscapers are. So you think, like, you see yourself on there, and people who know you, they'll see you, but it's not really new people that you're going to be getting into. So yeah, I wanted to go on there this year because I want to sort of build my design side of things. But I spoke to them about what their budget was and the size of it, and can't be bothered. Because if you got less money, you can't do a good design.
Okay.
So it's almost worse. It's the worst place you could go, really.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And then there's been an occasional Better Homes and Gardens, or there's a Better Homes and Gardens one as well. She's just helping them out at the Caulfield Racecourse, I think. They did a display there, and that was just from relationships I'd built from being at the Melbourne Flower and Garden Show, talking to the off-camera people.
Yeah. It's a good experience to be able to get on there and just do some different stuff.
Yeah, to see how different people work as well, because it's fascinating seeing how, like, their on-air talent will be sort of spieling something off, and then the producer will say it a little bit different, and then it's come with it like a different one as well. So
how often did you need to rerun the whole situation? Did you ever like re-say that, and then you had to go back to the other side of the room and then walk back through?
Well, yeah, I did that this year, but in Daylesford.
Yeah,
I thought I was going there to meet the contestants and there'd be no cameras there. It was like 6:30 on a public holiday, but there was cameras there, and then they said, "Oh, we're going to get you to walk in here." Oh, good. And my voice was like this then as well, so my voice was croakier and worse. But like, if they there was a little ad we did one year, me and one of the contestants for whoever the hire company is. So there was a couple of times they made us redo that, but yeah, most of it is all just like it's just actually having actual conversations and they're filming it. So whether they use it or not is another thing. But
Yep.
but it was a good experience for the guys, my employees as well. But they also it was to a point, and then it was they're working massive days, and,
Which is hard work.
yeah, which I love, but not everyone does. So
It takes quite the person to do hard labour into deep hours of the night as well.
yeah.
Did you have a particular, out of the 2 years that you did you have a particular year that you enjoyed more?
I like the garden. No, I like the garden the second year because that's like my favourite designer. So it was awesome to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was some big names in there as well. So yeah, but we got lucky. Both contestants we worked for, like the guys were absolute workhorses. Like with Jesse the first year, I'd never met anyone who worked harder than me until I met him.
Yeah, right.
And he'd already been there for 9 weeks doing that full on.
He was just so determined to win.
Yeah.
He was just in that.
Yeah. Like, because he was a tiler. He's a real estate agent now, but he was a tiler. So he had some experience, but it was phenomenal seeing how you could just push himself for so many hours. It was insane.
How much of a plan, or how much did they plan around what they wanted to do, or was it the landscape designer that come in and just told you what to do, or did they have much input on it?
Yeah, we had plans to work off both times, so I don't know. They would have had meetings with the designers and worked out. I don't know how much say they had either way, but yeah, we had the plans. The plans change, but they do in normal situations as well. So that's something you have to be aware of if you're going to be good at landscape, is that things change.
Yeah,
so you just got to roll with it. So,
how do you feel that your business actually grew after that?
it's hard to say
Because it's not that much of a time commitment apart from that week by the sounds of it.
Yeah, and that's why it's not that bad a thing to do either, because it's only a couple of 1 week periods. I think there was one where it was back to back, which wasn't ideal, but when you're leaving a job, some of your clients are happy that they get excited that you're going to work on the block, so they're not that bothered that you're leaving them for a week. But it'd be easy if you had a team who could stay here. And that's what I was thinking of doing this year, was that I would go up there and work and maybe get some other people to come in and help, because I've got more of a network now than what I did then. But then it's not worth it. I've never asked people where they got their details from, so it's hard to say what works and what doesn't, because I do a lot of different things. So like there's the blog, there's the garden shows, there's the podcast and Instagram. So I don't know what works best, or if anything works, like if a particular thing worked well at all. But yeah, I just do a lot of different things. So it's just like it's like building a pipeline.
Yeah.
It's you just gradually do it. And like they say, there's that thing about people need 7 points of contact before they'll need to see you 7 times or some rubbish. But it's just part of that. It's just by people seeing the logo, seeing the name, seeing me out there. So
how important do you put social media down to those 7 touch points at the moment? Because you've got quite a big social media following with InStyle. And you do the podcast on the other side of that. You've got some pretty good content that's on there as well, that you sort of do quite a bit. You said that your son before did the wrestling figurines with the motion.
Stop motion.
I've seen you do some awesome stop motion stuff with some grass.
Yeah, I do enjoy doing it. So, and that's one of the things you have to do with social media, is you need to enjoy doing it. Otherwise you won't do it.
Yeah.
You see every now and then, you see a company who hasn't been posting much, and then they'll sort of start doing it like they've got something all professional all of a sudden. They'll go flat out, and then it just stops again, and they don't do it. Because if you don't enjoy it, you've got enough going on. You don't have to worry about doing that. But I actually love doing it. And there's still periods where I don't do it for a few weeks. I'll go do hardly anything, because I'm actually working on making money rather than advertising. And people often say, like, they don't understand how you can do all you do, because I'm also doing a landscaping course as well, like an online course.
Okay.
I haven't released that yet, but whenever anyone says, I don't know how you do everything, I'll just tell them I only do one thing at a time. So if I'm doing the podcast, I'm not working or doing Instagram or anything else. That's all I'm doing. And it's the same if I'm actually landscaping. I'm not doing the podcast, not doing the course, not doing anything else. So I suppose every now and then I'll set up a GoPro, so I'm actually doing Instagram while I'm doing landscaping.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I just enjoy doing the stupid things like that.
Yeah.
Keeps it interesting.
It's fun as well. That's that
Yeah.
element to the job where you there's something that you can enjoy from it, and you
Yeah.
can sort of watch back and
Yeah, there's some people who have really polished and professional Instagram pages, and they'll only show finished projects, and they won't have a laugh or anything. But I'm certainly not like that. Like, I'll hang shit on my mates, and I'll show mistakes and all sorts of things.
it's part of the journey, especially if you can see how something's done, and people enjoy that side of things as well. I'm not just seeing the finished product; it's part of the journey of how something comes up, and especially garden, where most of the time that you see things that are completely flat, it's just dirt, and it's coming out the other side, and to be able to see that process that happens in between.
Yeah.
It's not an easy process though.
No, it's not. But yeah, also doing the way that I do it, I'm also going to get people who want that type of person to be working with them. So then you're going to be working with people who are similar to you, which you get along well with,
Yeah.
rather than just sort of people who are only expecting perfection and, a bit more stuck up.
Yeah.
Like, we still work for those people as well, but it's you have a better relationship with people who are sort of got a similar sense of humour and appreciate, you can have a laugh while you're working.
Yeah. Yeah. Are a lot of your jobs sort of coming in from central Geelong at the moment, or a lot of coastal stuff?
Most of them are Newtown and Barwon heads.
Yeah.
So, which
They're
is
really affluent.
Yeah,
affluent
so
areas.
every now and then we'll get someone who's in Ocean Grove who's seen us. And they're trying to pretend like they're from Barwon heads without the cost. But yeah, but it's been really nice having those two pockets. Like when I was up at the garden show a couple of weeks ago, people who I hadn't met before saying, "Do you do much up here in Melbourne?" So I can't stand working in Melbourne because of the traffic going up there.
Traffic. It's
We're
the
doing it.
distance.
We're doing a job in Clifton Springs at the moment. It's like 40 minutes to get there, and it's a nightmare because it's so far away. So yeah, Barwon Heads is about as far as I'd like to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's just insane jobs. We might do only 10 or 12 jobs a year at the most. So yeah, a lot of
Keeps you in one spot for a while anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although we've always got multiple ones on, so we're sort of travelling between two to
Right.
get your face on camera
Yep.
on both. But luckily, we've got two coming up. We're supposed to start, and they're both in Barwon Heads, so that works out pretty well.
The zip between both of them.
Yeah.
What's your favourite thing to do when you're actually doing the job?
Paving is my favourite, which is the worst on your back, so it's not ideal for me. But yeah, that's just something I love doing, and not only because I think it looks awesome, but I'm fast at it, so I make a lot of money on that. So I lost a lot of money on it over the years, allowing for thinking that everyone works as fast as I do.
Yeah.
So then gradually realised that you need a quote for who's doing the job. So I'll quote for my guys to do it, and if they do it, that's fine. We'll make money. If I do it, it's make a shitload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you being in business over the years has been a lot of trial and error.
Unfortunately, yeah. Yeah, there's some people who are like businessmen who do landscaping, and some landscapers mostly, and that's the same as any job, I reckon. You're doing a job, and then you either are good at it, so you want to do your own business or for whatever reason. But that's one of those. I don't know if the book is. Can't remember who it is. I think it's Mike Michalowicz about being a practitioner or a. I don't know, but he talks about you can't be the actual person who does the work. If you want to run a business, you've got to actually run the business.
Yeah.
And find people who do that. Or if you're going to be
You've got to work on the business and not in the business.
Yeah, or if you're going to be working in the business, you've got to find someone who can work on it.
Yeah.
Not employ someone. But
It's only my way to grow, really, isn't it? And that's just trying to expand the business, and as what you've done over time is doing different things to be able to get your name out there, which is really important.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing. You can be busy and not make money. And that's what I've been like for a lot of years. Especially since COVID, because we're like always at least 9 months booked in advance.
Yeah.
When all the prices started going berserk, I had to wear them in the jobs that we were doing.
Yeah.
So then I put my price up a little bit, and then thinking that they're not going to go anymore, and then 9 months later they've gone up again. So you can be busy and lose money, and that's what a lot of people that did.
How close were you to changing what you did, or what you were doing as career-wise over COVID? Did you ever have a consideration of going back to the bank or anything like that?
Nah, not at all.
It was hard being a tradesman over that period.
Nah, there couldn't have been a better job to do.
Really? You
We
were still outside, I guess?
Yeah, I think we had 8 days off the entire time that we couldn't work.
There you go.
So we could actually, work all the time.
Yeah.
We got lucky because one of the jobs that we worked on, the client wasn't living there, so we could, and the house is finished, so we could have, you could have 5 people working on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were really lucky the jobs we had, and the fact that we could work during that time. So
nice.
yeah, I don't know if there's many better jobs you could have been doing.
There you go.
Although like Melbourne's a different story.
Yeah.
They were worse. But yeah, Geelong there was like a 5 day. There was a week that you couldn't work, and then there was a couple of 1 day things for whatever. But yeah, I think there was only 8 days that we weren't allowed to work throughout the entire thing. But since I got back into it, just love it. So I'll be doing it till my body dies.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to move into design so that doesn't happen.
Design more than anything. So
Yeah.
at least the body can be saved in later years.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's a different story again, because then you got to sort of, it's almost, you're not starting from nothing, but people know me as doing construction, not design. So you sort of build another reputation. And also, you're not going to be doing 10 or 12 jobs doing design, because a design might take a couple of weeks, whereas the job will take a couple of months. So you've got to turn over a lot more work doing that. So
Do you think you'd enjoy that side of it coming into it?
I do. I just have trouble actually doing the work. I think I need to have an office, because having one at home doesn't work.
No mezzanine at the shed?
There's an office at the shed, so I might have to actually go there to do it. But
Where is the shed?
it's in Grovedale. I've just moved from one to another in Grovedale.
Yep.
But yeah, I struggle doing work from home stuff. So because the couch is so close.
It's not for everybody.
Very similar to this setup here. You've got your office over there, and you can just walk, and the couch is a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
And there's a pantry with food in it. So I get distracted quite easily.
I much prefer it. I can't.
Yeah, right.
It's not that I don't like being on the office in the office in Newtown. It's just that I just get so much more done at home.
Yeah.
Not everybody's like that. There's a few people who go into the office to be able to do work because they can't get work done at home. I don't have kids, and I'm here by myself all the time. And
yeah. Well, I think if I didn't have a phone, that would help as well. But sometimes I use the phone. But that's I'll get very distracted by that. So just having to scroll, wasting time.
Doom scrolling.
Yeah, but then I'll like some people who have ADD have said it. They can hyper focus every now and then, and I think I'd do that sometimes. Sometimes I'll just sort of get locked in.
Yep.
And I'll work until like 1:30 a.m. Like, so you got a lot of work done.
That's me. Yeah, that actually is me. So I've got ADHD. I need to have music on, otherwise, like my mind just wanders too much.
Yeah.
So if I'm sitting here in the home office, I've got music on, and the only time it really goes off is if I've got to answer a phone call or something like that, and all of a sudden you're hanging up the phone, and you've doom scrolled for a couple of minutes. You're like, hey, what the fuck am I doing? What's going on? It's like, hang on, the music's not on. But yeah, quite fortunate that I can work as long or whenever I want, really.
Yeah.
I'm in one of those positions that a lot of my work can be done after hours in the dark, and especially if I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, which is very, very rarely. If I'm ever stressed about anything, I can go find an answer and put me back to sleep before too long.
Well, I was awake at 3 this morning, and I knew I wouldn't get back to sleep. So I thought I should get up and start working on one of those designs, but I didn't. So just scroll for like an hour and a half and then get up.
Tell us about this course that you got coming up.
So with having the podcast, I have a lot of people reaching out to me saying, yeah, they love it and they want to learn more about certain things. And I had a few people messaging me asking if there's anywhere they can learn certain elements of construction within landscaping, because you can't just go and learn how to do paving or anything like this. And I thought there's nowhere that does it. And I had done a online course for architectural concreting. And I knew how to do like a lot of concreting, but doing the high-end architectural stuff, I didn't quite know how to do that. So doing the course, it was enough to tick me over the edge, and now I do that as well.
Yeah, right.
So I thought, well, I might. So because when I was actually doing that concrete course, I thought, this is an awesome idea, but I don't think it would work for landscaping. And then for some reason, after people started asking me, where can we learn how to do this part of landscaping, I thought, I'm going to do a course. So I just made... I sort of did some of the basics and filmed myself doing it, and sort of talking it through as I would if I was teaching someone how to do it.
As if you're the Jamie Jury.
Correct. But I was talking to people and being pleasant.
Yeah.
And now I've got it all filmed. I've just got to edit it, which is a lot of work. Unfortunately, like when I did the first day, it's one of those things. There's so many easier ways to do things than what I do. When I did the first day of filming, I decided to have the camera going and the microphone going the whole time. So then I had to edit. Like I had to wait and listen to when I talked, and like I'd be going to get a tool and I'm still filming that and doing the audio, so then I've got to cut that bit out. So editing that first day was a nightmare, but I've done that now. But then I realised I just need to, when I'm doing something, turn everything on, and then when I stop, I turn it all off. So I made it a lot easier, but there's still, like I started doing some of the courses and they go for like 2.5 hours at least.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether to dial them back or keep them like that, because you don't want to have, I don't know if they need to be too much information or not enough, or so I've got to I'll work out that. But like I said before, if I'm working on doing the podcast, I'm not doing the course.
Yeah.
And I've also got design to do, so I just don't have time to actually do it, which I want to get it done as soon as possible. And the people have been gagging for it to come out because they want to learn, especially the crazy paving that I do, because there's people want to learn how to do it the way I do it. So I just got to get that out, because then I'll start making money from it, and then I can just sort of tweak it once it's out. But there's still a bit to do before I can get it out.
When do you expect it to come out?
I said last year at some stage, and then I said January, and then I've changed that to March, and I think I've said mid-year at the moment. So hopefully mid-year, but I wouldn't have a clue.
Tell us about the podcast, because it's been running for a while now. How did you get into it to start off with? What brought you to it? And
I love listening to podcasts. So there was a guy I know who started a landscaping podcast from South Australia in 2018, and there's a lot of, not a lot, but there's landscaping podcasts in the US and overseas where they're not as relevant. Like it's completely different because the ground freezes and they do a lot of things differently. So then they're not bad, but they're also
not relevant to this market,
because they'll also close down for winter. So there's all sorts of different things. But what I find about a lot of podcasts is you can listen to one that's mostly irrelevant, but there's like a 1 minute period which is gold in there. So I'll always finish off listening to a podcast. But because I like listening to them, I'd met a fella who I wanted to hear his story about how he started, his story in the industry, and learn more about him without just ringing up saying, "Tell me more about you."
Yeah.
So I thought I'm going to recommend him as a guest to this podcast that I was listening to. And then I decided I might just do it myself. So he was in New South Wales. So I messaged him. He said, "Yep, keen to do it." So I said, "I'll come over and I'll do a few on a weekend." So I went over, I organised, I think it was 5 different guests in the south coast of New South Wales. So that was talking about how much I hate organising the podcast guests. That was quite a complex thing to organise 5 different people in person on a weekend at 5 different venues as well.
Yeah, right.
So I had all the cameras and everything, went over there, and that all went well. Well, the first guy actually who I was supposed to do, so I left Geelong at 2:45 in the morning. So I was supposed to get there at 9 or 10 or something. And he messaged me in that morning saying, "I've had an appointment cancelled, so I'm going to have to go and do something else. Is that okay?"
Mate, just come all the way from
I
me.
left at 2:45 a.m. so I could get to you in time, do that episode, and then go to another one.
Yeah.
So I was pissed at that.
He did cancel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't talk to him for a long time. I don't even know if he knows how annoying that was, but it's because some people get nervous. So I think he was just nervous about coming on.
Do you ever get nervous about doing them anymore?
No, not now.
Yeah.
Not really nervous, but when there's certain people I talk to, if I don't, like if I talk to a landscaper, easy, because it's exactly what I do. Whereas if they're like a horticulturist and more of a plants person, it didn't used to be my kind of thing, but now I'm a lot more knowledgeable. So, but that was something that would intimidate me a bit. Is someone knowing stuff, not so much that I don't know, but their interests aren't really my interests. So I didn't know if I was going to be curious enough. But no, they all worked out fine.
How many have you done?
I think it's 235 or 6. So been going, I reckon, pretty close to bang on 4 years.
Have you watched your first 10 back?
I've watched the first one. So the first one I did by myself, just talking about, explaining why I got into it. And I thought, it was fine. Until I went back and listened to it. It was like going back to the 70s in the way to talk, and it's pretty wild. And also, I'm not the most sort of emotive person either. So I'm very monotone voice, and I just sort of blank. So and I'm just talking the monotone voice to the camera the whole time. So I haven't listened to the whole thing again, but it'd be worth having a look back to. But funnily enough, that's also because it's the first episode. It's the most listened to episode.
Yeah, right.
So, but in that episode, I remember saying, "This isn't what they're all going to be like." So listen to the next one as well. So, but yeah, it's been awesome, and I've had some pretty awesome people on, and been in some weird situations. Like one guy I had from the UK, and the only time I worked for him was 5:30 a.m. or 5 a.m. And because I didn't want to wake up the wife and kids, because I just do it in the wardrobe of my son's room.
Yeah,
that's where I record everything. I went down into the garage and got in the boot of my car and had it all set up in there, all the camera and everything. And I was filming and recording in the boot of the car at 5 a.m.
Did you have the screen? Could you tell that you're in the boot of the car?
No, because I had the Zoom background.
Yeah,
because I did the first 5 episodes, and then when I came back to Victoria, another 2 in person, like with cameras all set up.
Yeah,
but that was too hard, so then I just went to Zoom, and it's made it so much easier. I said to you before as well, like when you're doing a podcast, everyone wants it to be as perfect as possible, but I think making it as easy as possible, you're going to be in it a lot longer. Yep. So you're not having to worry about any expensive equipment, all that stuff, and setting it all up.
One thing though, that you're going to be in it for a longer time, that's when you can probably start to invest in it.
If that's what you want to do.
So many times as well.
Yeah, well, I've been going 4 years and I won't be investing in at all. So I just need a laptop. Actually, I bought a different camera than the just a laptop camera. Like
okay.
That's about. And I bought a microphone.
You bought a webcam.
Yeah, I bought a webcam. That's it. It's literally all it is. It's just a 4K webcam. But it does make a difference. But again, no one cares.
Yeah.
The viewers would be exactly the same if I didn't do that or not. Mm-hmm. It's just something in my head that I thought I cared about at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the sort of growth that you've seen on your social media uptake with followers wise? Is that something that really picked up at say 100 episodes in, or where did you find the lift?
Well, because I've got a separate separate Instagram for the landscaping podcast, so that's just been gradual every now and then. Like, so if I have you on, then you share it to your followers, and then you get a couple of followers from that.
Yep.
So it's just organically like that. Mm-hmm. But the business account, that's mainly grown from like individual posts that go viral. Yeah. And then you get like I've posted a fire pit a few times that we did, and it goes berserk every time. Yeah, right. Like I think the first time I got 2 million views, and then the first time might have been 1 million. The second time was 3 million, and then the third time
the same fire pit.
Yeah, I tweak it slightly.
Okay.
But it's the same fire pit, so different video, but it's the same, all the same stuff, just mixed around a bit. Yeah. And then the third time I think it was like 16 million, and the last time it was maybe 7 or something. Yeah. Okay. So I think I've got 77,000 followers, and I would say at least 40 of them have come from those posts.
So interesting, isn't it?
And that's not 40, I mean 40,000.
Yeah, so, yeah.
But, so it's not, again, you see big numbers on Instagram, but they don't mean anything. Yeah. Like if you looked at, it's quite popular in South America, so.
What's that going to do for you? Yeah.
I would travel to Argentina to do a design if someone was interested.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't had any calls yet.
Is that where you envision yourself within the business eventually where you want to go? Is that traveling the world, being able to design things? Or?
I would do it, but it's not really. It's not really something I'd be actively pursuing.
Okay.
There's enough work in Australia, like even in Victoria. So as long as there's enough work for me to do that, then I'm happy to do that and not have to travel. I find it interesting to travel, but
done many farm properties?
No, I don't like. I get intimidated by big properties.
Too much space.
Yeah. Like it's not really. I haven't had a lot of experience with it, so sometimes I won't even take those jobs on. I've done one. There was one we did, I think. Can't remember what size it was, but yeah. And also when you're charging a lot more, I feel a sense of needing to provide a lot for that as well. Mm-hmm. But it's mainly just how long it takes to do. So it's not, you're charging a lot, but it's not going to be necessarily an amazing design, but it just takes so long to do it all. Yeah, all different areas. So but no, I like just doing a normal size blocks and smaller ones.
Yeah. You feel like you've got your niche and
Yeah, it's because just what I know and what I've never studied design. It's just come from working for some of the best designers in the world, who happen to be Victorian. But yeah, it's just picking up little bits and pieces and plans and the way they do things and talking to them.
Yeah.
That I've sort of learnt from them, which I think is a lot better than learning in a classroom, because they're people who have done that and then got experience, and then they're teaching you things.
You really are learning off the best when you
Yeah.
you get to converse with them constantly about
Yep.
their ideas, why they did certain things. And when you're in a classroom with a teacher, they're being taught by a book, and most of the time they're not really coming from those head design sort of spaces either.
Yeah.
So
And it also doesn't matter how much learning you do. You're gonna learn a lot more when you start doing.
Of course.
You actually
absolutely.
need to start being a practitioner on it.
That's the way I learn. Is I have to be doing something. I can't learn something from a textbook, as well. I was absolutely shit ass at school. So coming out, I was only ever really good at numbers.
Yeah.
But I could never learn something from a book. I have to go out and make the mistakes. It pretty much goes for anything in my life. I actually have to go out and make the mistake, realise why I shouldn't be doing something, and then that's how I get an understanding.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I've pretty much grown in my own business over the last 7 years of being a finance broker. Is go in, make the mistakes. Okay, what else do I need? And 99% of the time, the client never knows the difference, and you've just done something in the background, and
You know for next time as well.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and you sort of build on it. And now most of the time, most of the things I can do now, almost with my eyes closed, which is it would be the same in your industry.
Yeah.
You've made those mistakes so many times that you eventually comes out the other side, and it's just learning with experience.
Yeah. And when I have apprentices on, there's some people who they won't let their apprentice lay a paver until their second year. Whereas I'll get them straight away, because the sooner they can do something, the more valuable they are.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get any better at watching me do it. So
They're just learning the bad habits.
yeah, way not to do it.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly. I'd message someone that exact quote today.
Yeah.
Because he messaged me asking me about what sort of quoting templates and invoicing templates I use. So I just use a Word document and print on a letterhead. Like, that's literally all I do. And I said, how do you do your quotes? I said, I just print out a design, get my scale ruler and measure it all, scribble on the page, and then put that into a quote. So it's really, it's not ideal, but works for me.
Yeah.
So
A lot of the time, that's what it's about. It's just whatever works for you.
yeah, some people get these fancy programs, and they might make my job easier.
Yeah.
But, I won't find out because I'm not going to try.
Now, you're a Geelong boy. You've grown up here your whole life. Favourite place or favourite thing about living in Geelong?
Definitely how it's got just about everything, but it's also a small town kind of feel about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I couldn't love Geelong more, really. Apart from the football club, obviously. Not a Cats fan.
Who are you a fan of?
St Kilda, who beat Geelong earlier this year, as you may remember. And it's good times at the moment because we're 3-1. And so any Saints fan will be celebrating because it's going to change.
Ross the Boss is back.
Yes, big fan. But yeah, and the fact that everyone I know is in Geelong, just about, like some have moved away, but yeah, I just love the fact that driving to a job 40 minutes away annoys me because everything else is so close.
Yeah, you live in the city and it's minimum 40 minutes to even get to the next suburb over, really.
Yeah,
isn't
it blows me away often how, like, I'll say it took me like an hour and a half to get to Melbourne, and then other people who live in Melbourne say it took me the same time to get here, up to wherever we were. Like, I've often said I don't think a lot of people from Melbourne understand that it's not like that everywhere.
It's not that far away. So I used to have the same thing when I worked at the Westpac head office on Collins Street. A lot of people used to, like, that work in the office, country boy, you live forever away. And I'm like, it literally took me door to door like an hour to get here. Like, how long did it take you? And they're like, live out near Dandenong or something like that. And they're like, yeah, it took me longer. I'm like,
yeah. And also where you work and study and everything, you actually start to build a network, so that comes in handy. You don't know when it will, but it's just good knowing people who can help you out.
Did you build a strong network because you're a Joey's boy? I'm a Joey's boy. Did you build a strong network coming out of Joey's at all? Or
no, only that, like, with my mates, like with our group of mates.
Yeah.
So I don't go to any reunions or anything. I couldn't care less about anyone else. Like, if I see someone else, I'll talk to them. And there's been people who we've done work with who end up being in the construction industry as well.
Yep.
But yeah, not like that in terms of caring what school people went to, but just knowing if I knew them.
Yeah.
Like I bought, we sold our house with a guy that I played footy with when I was 16, and I'd spoken to him since then. So I was playing seniors when I was 16, and so he's a bit older. But yeah, I didn't know which real estate agent to pick.
Okay.
Obviously, I would pick Ricky now.
Yeah.
I did, but didn't know him at the time. So
Just that no like and trust from being in Geelong. Once you knew someone, then it clicked.
That's one of those things. Like I don't know anyone else, so yeah, I assume they all do a pretty similar job.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd pick him, and it got a great result too. So because it was during COVID, so
yeah,
anyone got a great result there.
They sold themselves, didn't they?
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah. You've been friends with who you went to high school with for quite some time. You have a really unique embrace of wearing particular costumes to certain situations.
Yeah, any situation really.
Can you share your most memorable costume that you've worn to an event?
It'd be one of my mates had an engagement party, so I thought it would be a good idea to go dressed as the Cat in the Hat. Yeah,
we have a photo of that. We're actually going to put it up. It's you sitting next to my brother in that photo, and you sitting in the Cat in the Hat. Everybody else is go through it for us.
Yeah, well, it's just like anyone going to an engagement party. Like it's just a neat casual dress or cocktail dress. So it wasn't like anything special, but yeah, I don't know. I've got a weird mind, and I like to do things a bit different. So I went to the Cat in the Hat, dressed in that. And then when I went to the wedding, I wore like a royal blue suit. So it was still a suit. So
now it probably wouldn't be that. Out of the blue, I should say. But
nice. I see what you did there. And then when I caught up with you for the first time in a while at the Geelong Real Estate Co. MND thing,
which is actually coming up soon, is it not, Benny? You got a date for us? You'll come back to us with that one.
Yep.
10th of May. So the 10th of May, the M&D is coming up.
Is it?
Last year you went as?
Yeah, I went dressed as The Rock and that. So
The Rock's 80s outfit.
Yeah, because I went to, I'm trying to remember why I got that Rock outfit. But yeah, it's the one with the bum bag and the gold chain.
Yeah.
So
great outfit, because it's when you did the Ice Bath Challenge, you jumped in, you had the full outfit still on, bum bag and all.
Yeah, part of it is because I think it's funny, and also because I didn't want to be around a bunch of strangers with my shirt off. So it kills two birds with one stone. And everyone else would have appreciated that as well, to not see me with my shirt off. So everyone wins there. And then grand final parties as well. So when Geelong won their first flag in forever, I went there dressed as Superman in a wheelchair.
Christopher Reeve spec.
There's that. And,
what was the idea on that one?
Again, there is no idea. I just think I might just dress up. and then you got to start thinking of the costume. And I've been to, there's one, I think it's before that actually. I was dressed as the gorilla. I got a fake banana. It was pretty crook early that day. It went a bit hard. And there's been a stormtrooper as well.
Where were you at the stormtrooper?
That was a grand final party.
Yeah.
Yeah, grand final parties, I would do it a lot. And again, like no one else is dressing up at all. So it's just me. So yeah, it's a bit odd. And then I remember one time I went to the Grovey just catching up with mates.
Yeah.
And I dressed up like in formal gear there for just to go and catch up for a few beers. They had no idea why I do it. It's just a weird unit.
It is funny.
Yeah, that's why I do it.
Yeah,
because I like amusing myself. Like, a lot of the things I do is I think it's funny, so that's all I care about. So if other people find it funny, good. If not, I've still had a laugh.
Now you've alluded to it a couple of times, but you're quite the athlete growing up, quite the sportsman. Whenever there was a backyard game to be played, you were quite the Nazi on the rules. Is that fairly accurate?
Yeah, I was very competitive. I like things done the right way. And Mark was always pretty challenging to compete against. So
why was that?
Just because he's good as well.
Yeah.
So I had to find any way I could beat him.
Okay. No, very good. Well, it's been awesome having you. I appreciate your time. Camera's there. You have so much going on at the moment. Stare down the barrel, mate. Tell us what you got going on and what you want to spruik.
Well, I've got the landscaping school is going to be coming out one day. Whether it's this year or not, I can't say. But if you follow along on Instagram or the landscaping podcast,
Where can they find you?
at InStyle Gardens or at InStyle_Gardens for the main one, and then you can see the other ones branched off that. And that's a good place to message me as well if anyone wants to find out some costume ideas that they should wear to their next event.
No, forget about the course. We need a course simply on what costumes to wear at the wrong events.
Might add that part to it as well.
Thanks for your time, Joel. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Loved it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you joining us on another episode, and we'll see you next time.